going to ask, this is obviously tied into COVID relief money.
Yes.
We have like a new round of 1.3 billion. I guess are there talks about what to do with that money?
There are talks about the dollars that will be coming to the state, how best to utilize them to help businesses that were challenged and families that were challenged by COVID, but also to use it as an opportunity to support those industries that were impacted. So there's a legislative committee that is working on it this summer to give recommendations, and we're going through the Treasury guidance, and I want everybody to remember that we as states are always accountable to the guidance that comes out of the Treasury Department in Washington, D.C. And when these dollars are spent, that the state will be the one that will be audited to make sure that they're spent appropriately according to how the will of Congress was when it was passed. So we're getting more and more details on that guidance. The legislature's meeting to talk about what they think would be a good place to invest those dollars, and that'll be debated during next legislative session.
Member Noem,
yes.
I know you want to stay in the program. I did want to ask one
sure.
question.
Go ahead.
The fireworks
yes.
was launched yesterday. Are you in the appeal process yet? Have you yet started with that?
Yeah, we are still continuing to fight for our fireworks at Mount Rushmore. Here's the deal. President Biden told us that we could be celebrating our independence from this virus by July 4th. He's declared that over and over again. And the fact that they are denying us the opportunity to have this celebration at Mount Rushmore for the 4th of July based on nothing except political and punitive reasons tells me that it's unlawful what they're doing, that we're going to continue to challenge it in court, and that I'm hopeful that we'll get a court that sees that taking these kinds of decisions and using them to retaliate against a state for political reasons and arbitrary reasons is not acceptable.
Kind of going back to meat processing here a little bit, you touched on the aspect of being able to sell in other states, what that will do for producers. What will that do for South Dakota producers in terms of competition, prices, and all that, and being able to open up that separate market?
Well, I was a rancher my whole life, and what frustrated me so many times is that I would work all year, sometimes for several years, to raise a cow, a calf, a steer, a heifer. I'd take it to the sale barn, and I had to take whatever price they gave me. And a lot of that was controlled beyond state borders by big out-of-state packers and manipulators in the market that were always involved and tied up in how much money I got to put in my pocket after doing the work after a year or two of raising that animal. So I've lived it on that side of the business. When I was in the legislature, when I worked in Congress, since I've been governor, I understand even more the details of how important it is to have processors like this out here and to add value to our products closer to home and to be able to sell them to more and more people and open up those markets. So diversified markets are good for everybody. Brings more competition in, make sure you get better quality products to people and they have more choices. It also drives down costs for them, but it also gives that rancher a more competitive market that he can or she can go out and have 4 or 5 bidders on their animals instead of just one and being tied to whatever price they get when it runs through the ring. All right, thank you guys, appreciate it. Have a wonderful day and come back here when the doors are open and buy a lot of beef. We'll talk to you soon.